Okay, recapping Rvsn and Rdbx today. I traded Rvsn long 3 times and Rdbx long once, and then short the rest of the day. I'm calling this a red day because I broke even and I was up big, but after all of the commissions and my borrows and ECN fees, I think I made like $7. And I sat here until after hours closed, pretty much. So somewhat of a tilt day, but not quite. I felt like I recognized it as like where before my tilt days are very bad. So I guess if there's anything to take away, it was that I had a better bad day than just kind of blowing up. So I traded Rvsn long. This is the daily chart, and there's not a whole lot of detail. I think it IPO'd March 31st. So I learned some supply demand theory from this guy named Carmine, and Carmine has a service called Investitrade. And so like if with these boxes that I put here, or anywhere, whatever, you know, I'm trying to identify supply zones, demand zones, like where price has rejected. I'm not going to go over the theory, but finding areas on the daily where we should have supply. I didn't short Rvsn because I didn't take borrows on it this morning. And then by the time I wanted to, they were gone. So I've noticed that can be a problem for me because then I just trade it long. And it's not necessarily always great long context. But since I don't have borrows, I can't short it. So I would chalk that up to forcing some trades because I don't have a borrow. But anyway, I guess in hindsight, this would have been, you know, a supply zone from here, an inside basing candle, and then a daily candle that pushes and then rejects. And then we have another daily candle that comes up to the supply zone, confirms it, rejects. And then today we kind of gapped up into that supply in $2.50 level. I do recognize whole half dollar levels on the charts. I like whole dollar better, but so yeah, I get, you know, this would technically be considered a supply zone per what I learned from Investitrade. And then here on my hourly, and then intraday executions. So not very good. The first long this morning was great right off the open. I'm kind of wrestling with this a little bit because I don't necessarily have like a perfectly clear defined stop. I know that I don't want to risk a lot and that after I get in, I want it to go my way right away. And usually if it doesn't, I'll cut the trade. That's not the way to do it. So I'm wrestling with that right now. Um, I took this, we had this big stuff, and then I started here, and then it pulled back into this kind of pivot area, um, like that, and I knew this was a super small float, so I had that in consideration, and I thought it might push, and it did. I pretty much sold 95% of everything right there, and then I left just a tiny bit on in case it continued. Um, and then, I just threw a stop at break even. Actually, it was like maybe it was 3 cents off of break even, and it dumped into that. The next long trade, not so great. I saw this pull back, held, started to curl up, then it was here at VWAP, and I bought more here, and was completely not prepared for this big wash, and so I took that stop, 210 and 230, so 20-cent stop, full size. I need to start setting hard stops. Risking off of this, kind of risking off of 220 maybe. This chart hadn't developed enough. In hindsight, I'm looking at it and seeing that it hadn't really developed enough for me to be longing here, especially in this market right now. I feel like it's a weird market and it's weak, and my longs are not seeing great continuation unless I'm buying it super low. But where it would squeeze before and then get over top of this level and hold this level and then continue on and go $3 for the rest of the day, that's not happening for me right now. So yeah, took a big stop there. And I think just the surprise from this trade kind of threw me off for the rest of the day. In reality, like waiting for it to pull back into a zone and then hold a zone and then taking it out of the zone and then risking the zone is the better idea. So even here, it pulled back into this zone. Like if we have this as kind of a level, pulls back into here, comes up, holds a higher low, why not buy here 212, risk $2. Just better RR. I think I'm always looking for confirmation, or not confirmation, but like immediate resolve with the trades. And that's why I take them where I do, or try to. But so still kind of definitely battling some of that stuff. And then later in the day, I thought maybe we're gonna have a VWAP reclaim, and then something like, obviously not what it did. Something like this where it came up, held, pushed, cleared out, and then maybe some kind of continuation after hours. So again, took a good size position in a weak market on a retest basically, and I think I got like not even half of my shares out here because I was like, okay, this should go, and then so I wanted to hold on to some, and then boom, it just dumped. So took that stop, and that's Rvsn. On the 1 minute chart, it just seemed like there was a lot of clear short signals that I didn't bother to pay attention to because I didn't have borrows. But kind of right here at highs on an extended chart and dog shit volume. I mean, relative to this, relative to that, um, you know, this type of price action where it like like breaks the flag line and then fails, you know, short, and then it comes back up, pops up into there, rejects short. But again, didn't have any borrows, so wasn't looking with that kind of view, which is a problem because it negates my longs, obviously, right? Yeah, and then this is a pretty nice short right here too. After that dumped, kind of hops back up, fails again, and then you get 30-cent unwind. So that's Rvsn. And then I have the ugly one. It's not as ugly as could have been. It's a red box. So found a nice spot on a red box to get long. Kind of right there. Whole dollars present, $7. Got a nice push up to 750s. And this chart obviously has plenty of baggies, bag holders, you know, in some of these levels. But my plan was to short up or to long it up into that resistance zone, or you know, that level, kind of this pivot, long it into there, and then get out. So this is probably the best, like the best trade that I had today, as far as context and plan and execution. So yeah, this 750 area was kind of like where I hopped out. And then it pushed up, and then it rejected, and I missed a short. I had borrows for this, obviously, and I knew I missed it. I started to kind of chase it around. Started here, 707, washed down to 685, didn't cover. Took more, 722, washed down to 696, didn't cover. 727, $7, didn't cover. So I added up into this, and then I was kind of watching. This is a pivot. This is a pivot, and then I had high a day right here. And this is kind of where that tilt kind of set in. Not extreme. I felt in control, but you know, this needs to be a stop right here. This curl, time of day, VWAP, this needs to be a stop. 727. So I let it get up here and just kind of started randomly trying to get my average higher. And by the time I said, okay, if it breaks high a day, that's where I have to take it. I have to take it on the chin. And that would have been probably 2.5, maybe 3R. It never, like I was saying, I can't believe it. It never broke high a day. 775, 775, complete double topped. So I got lucky on this one. And I got my average up high enough and then, or higher. And then when it washed, now, the other side of you takes over and says, okay, now it's going to go down to 6. Now it's go down to 650. Now it's going to go down to 683. So I was watching kind of like here, here, and then you start to kind of lie to yourself. And so I didn't cover. I didn't cover here. I was well into the money on probably larger size than I should have had. And I didn't cover anything here. I let it go back up against me that after hours. Then it came back down, didn't cover again, literally watched this all night. And then finally, a couple minutes before it was all over, I got out in the money. But so yeah, this is not a good chart and definitely got lucky. It's way better to cut here, reattack here. Sometimes when you're trading these areas, like I feel like if I cut my position, or not cut, but if I take profit here and then take profit here or take profit here on these entries, I feel like I could miss. I feel like I could miss, this, and then this, and then that. So I don't cover here, and I didn't cover here, and then it does this. But each of these washes, they were 15 cents to 20 cents or almost 30 cents. And, I have to stick to the plan and not get greedy. These were all good trades. And, against this kind of level right here. And then especially if you don't cover anything, I have to take the stop as it curls up one more time. And then you can see the volume come in too, right? Not a lot. A million shares on a 5-minute bar is not a lot, but it's a lot relative to, this. So yeah, like I was saying, cut here and then maybe reattack up here or just leave it alone.